Here we are at a pivotal turning point for insight and learning. Let me toss the first seed of this intense trip. What is the actual cost of living on the shadow of error and control? Here I am, Gabriel, the guide of this place, the channel, the spiritual secret, and I am here to provide you a vision your soul surely searches. Know that right now, you have not discovered this film for a coincidence. Rather, there is a heavenly connection guiding you here, for the message it is decoding will significantly change your spiritual path. Today's subject is more than just curiosity. It's a call to those among you who have the bravery to observe what is concealed to the regular view. Only you, who connects with the personal sense of a profound spiritual summons, will really appreciate the depth of what has to be conveyed. Like them, we will delve into the unseen gears that drive manipulators and the painstakingly manufactured illusions to dominate their world, and like them, joining forces with the most false ends, up-enslaved their own truth. I guarantee you bold. I will expose the secret to comprehending and chances for an isolated awakening of any false mask that has been placed on your eyesight. Ignoring this message would be like to consign oneself to live in an illusion spun with their own shadows, therefore causing an irreversible mistake for some. If you have ever experienced this inward spiritual pulse, that holy sigh guiding it to examine itself, share in the comments. And as you are watching this video, reminds yourself of the more important goal led you here. Get ready for the escalation of this awareness. Our path will next lead us into the secrets of the rise of the manipulator, and you will discover how brittle the control is when based on falsehoods. Stay present and vigilant, receptive to the truth currently blossoming within your heart. Imagine a delicate and complicated web unseen to the human sight, yet enough to confine even the freer soul. For most people, this is the illusion of control, a spiritual phenomena long neglected. Few people dare to confront this fact, not by coincidence, because realizing it challenges the cozy impressions we have of our own world. Ask yourself, how many times have you been carried by stories that beyond surface level were shadows of the truth? This phenomena is a raw, powerful reality, a spiritual struggle fought in our own inner spheres, not just the result of fancy or theory. The manipulator starts gently, roots his effects via pleasant yet poisoned words. Like a predator wearing lamb-skinned clothing, they alter our view and lead us to feel that power was always theirs. But every report has weaknesses, little fissures starting to show when that painstakingly built web comes across the blazing truth. Imagine for a minute the artist transforming a wall into a massive piece of art, such that, with time, the paint starts to fade, exposing the flaws and the nothingness beneath the exhibition. Such are also the illusions of manipulators, attractive from a distance, yet something unsettling when seen closer. If you are a chosen one, you have surely come to see in your profession that something was always beyond the visible and insisted on challenging and delving farther in pursuit of the truth. This phenomena shows itself in the selected by persistent restlessness, a passion to expose superficiality in favor of a larger truth. Think when your intuition alerted you to the dishonesty of appearances on events, when you understood, even without hard data, that it was undergoing distortion. You know that this inner knowledge is a heavenly gift, meant to help you escape the unseen currents trying to arrest you to fit delusions. Advancement of your spiritual path depends on waking to this fact. Ignoring such discoveries is like to keep blind in cycles of error, unable to enjoy the results of really spiritual emancipation and awareness. This is the right moment to reject everything that is untrue and welcome the bare and raw truth. Do not flee these discoveries, as every thread of its existence yearns for truth and freedom. Get ready to go even further into the consequences this phenomena brings to your life and spiritual journey as we go on. This understanding may help your soul to go to the next level of illumination and development. Follow ahead, free from anxiety, to the next stage of this metamorphosis. We are just starting. Though its existence is often overlooked, the truth, my chosen loved ones, is like an underground river running softly beneath the surface, altering everything that comes into contact. As we grow, let us acknowledge that the quiet progress of being aware, you, fascinates us more than simply the exposing of the manipulator. Every layer of this insight reveals itself as we grow to hear the river speak and sense its path. See your personal path as a complex mosaic of spiritual encounters. How many times have you been compelled to go more and reconsider the reality underneath appearances? This restlessness boils within you as your soul depends on a truth required to grow spiritually. Its development is initially produced in the unseen spheres of the spirit, like that of a tree that looks immobile, but whose roots stretch and strengthen the depths of the ground before projecting the skies. The holy lessons guiding the construction on the rock never let the storm of dishonesty or the winds of deceit rule. This rock is just the truth in its most pure form, and the relentless spiritual urge guiding its expansion. Its goal is waiting to blossom full and secure, like a plantation that only thrives when its roots are nurtured and cared for. Ignoring this drive means that we run a big risk of being imprisoned in a vicious circle of doubts and blunders, an eternal dance where genuine emancipation always appears to escape the cracks of our daily life full of rush. For those who welcome and value this knowledge, however, there is a different world. His view changes, his decisions become clear and deliberate. Heavenly grace runs like an endless river in his life, guiding him to calm and satisfaction. Ask yourself, how many times I have been sidetracked off my path to have me bring about what is not gold, but isn't it gold? And when I objected, hearing that inner cry, what happened inside of me? You will discover that you are not just a participant of this cosmic puzzle. You are a critical component meant to find your position in something great by letting yourself embrace and merge this insight. This meditation helps us to reach a moment of inflection where we should consider the roots we need, strengthen, before completely blooming. As we address the knowledge of the processes driving this shift, be ready to explore how this transition may be practically seen in its existence. May each piece fits and each trip carries fresh insights. We then explore the intricacy and beauty of its metamorphosis, therefore exposing the inner layers of this path of spiritual inquiry. Expanding the basic concept of the actual spiritual growth helps us to see that every selected is dedicated to an inherent dance with the invisible forces influencing their life. This dance is cosmic choreography, resonating through your judgments, your ideas, and your deeds, not just a surface movement. Imagine for a minute the path of a river, which starts its great trip in the mountains and shapes valleys, nourishes land, provides life as it follows its route to the great ocean. Your path of spiritual development is like that. Like the river, the chosen one wakes up and searches the truth, motivated by longings and inquiries. As one finds fresh sources of knowledge and refinement and removes the sediments of illusions and old limits, this desire becomes stronger and lively rivers flow clear and vivid. This approach helps you to find a sense of unease, maybe even doubts. These are the overt indicators of ongoing cleansing. The restricting ideas that formerly blinded their view start to fade, allowing a purer reality to take place from the contaminants of mind and spirit. When you sensed your inner flow disturbed, how did you respond? It is remembered that the river generates its power and purpose in the fall of water, in the courageous leap over the obstructions. Combining these experiences helps their perspective to tune in and let universal truth show itself in their everyday contacts. This is when the chosen one realizes his divinity is entwined with his humanity, not apart from it, as the golden thread weaves the fabric of fate. Rome stronger and more competent of sustaining the divine mission assigned, his soul changes through stresses and tribulations, just as a potter gently shapes the clay. Those who choose to overlook this development live in floating, their imprisoned soul in constant cycles of surface-level self-pride. But the outcome is a life of great significance, fluidity, and connectedness to the universe when the truth is embraced and the soul is in line. Think on this amazing development synergy and let it lead you in the whole revelation of the future possible life. Imagine what it means to become an overpowering force of a changed nature as we left to investigate pragmatic ways that would put this knowledge in actual action. Avant-garde, selected towards the boundless sea of spiritual possibilities. We will together untangle the fundamental habits that guarantee your own river will keep running free and under guidance. Let us now unveil the heavenly architecture that is sometimes invisible to the sight, but necessary for the development of the soul, by opening the curtain on the secret processes guiding this spiritual metamorphosis in the Chosen One. These systems are shaped in the cosmos tessitura as a spiritual compass that will help you to match your higher calling. Know that every one of these mechanisms has a certain purpose on your road, and it is via them that actual illumination shows up in your life. The spiritual awakening, a subtle but strong appeal to your soul, is the initial phase of this process of metamorphosis. Born of discontent with the surface, he is a whisper, urging the quest for deeper significance. Mind and soul start to open during this period, urging that you pay attention to what really counts, like a flower feeling the approach of the light. Internal refining comes second and is the process of purifying heart and mind. At this point, you also confront your own shadows and illusions, much like coarse gold must pass fire to eliminate your contaminants and reveal your own brilliance. This is a time of renunciation and emancipation, wherein the layers of falsehoods expose the purity of spiritual truth. The intellect sharpens, the lighter spirit and the body experiences a rebirth as if these old shackles were severed. Integration and alignment come third. This is the stage in which you start to use the knowledge gained in all domains of life. It is when information not only changes the mind and soul, but also echoes in everyday decisions and activities, therefore determining its fate. You are required to expand this new awareness by including it into your being, just as the germinated seed now need light and water to flourish completely. See this as the path a pilgrim following Belem's star tracks his way to a holy gathering with his own essence. Your inner star guides and motivates you, Mary and Joseph, who followed that light too. These systems give ordinary living more significance and resonance with ancient biblical narratives and experiences where faith and endurance overcame uncertainty and anxiety. Ignoring this road of change runs the danger of keeping one in inertia and repeating the same cycle of spiritual need and misery. For the timon of the soul is dormant. Such doubt is like a driftboat without direction, waiting for a breeze, never to arrive. Thus, the time of action is now. Choose to develop and confirm your comprehension so that you do not become trapped in frustrated spirals. We equip our hearts for the following phase, when the metamorphosis will show even greater physical manifestation, grounded on practice and the visceral reality of its presence. Allow us guard this inner fire and allow it to lead us into the totality. As we advance in knowledge of spiritual dynamics, we see that every selected is called to join in a holy dance of change that ties their heart with the grand symphony of the cosmos. Clearance at this point of the road lies in the thorough description of the internal and outside mechanisms guiding this spiritual transformation. Understanding every one of these processes helps you to tread this road with knowledge and purpose. The first step to show up is the internal awakening. Right now, either quick or slow, awareness wakes your spiritual senses. Like witnessing the first light of aurora after a long night, you are driven to wonder what formerly seemed fixed and search for something that goes beyond simple material life. This awakening starts the process of differentiation between the false and the real by changing viewpoint. The intellect opens itself to a different perspective on the universe. The soul longs for more. The physical body reacts with a vivid and fresh vigor. Essential is the change to the second phase, the soul's refining. Here, the selected one faces his shadows, those elements stopping their development. Internal toxins are treated and eliminated, just as the farmer removes stones from his land before planting. At this point, the spirit is strengthened by resilience, and the intellect finds clarity by acceptance and comprehension. The body could experience this metamorphosis in little ways, like a boost in energy or a need to better treat oneself. We therefore reached the third essential stage, harmonic integration. Here, their regular behavior starts to show the flavor of absorbed truth. Spiritual knowledge is no more isolated from its actions. Every deed and choice becomes a mirror of harmony with its divine purpose. The very core of the selected one seems to be molded once again, enabling its brightness to radiate unlike never before. Challenges that test the practical application of what has been acquired may surface during this period. Nevertheless, keep in mind that every difficulty is a chance to consolidate the spiritual development even more. In the wisdom of the scriptures, we discover the metaphor of the potter, who, in forming the clay, turns a lot of knowledge into a beautiful piece of useful art. Your path represents this creative endeavor. You are the potter and clay, forming and being sculpted by the gentle touch of the heavenly hands, working non-stop. At this point, it is important to realize that neglecting these systems rejects their development and potential reserved for them, thereby sustaining a condition of spiritual inertia. Those who brave these procedures, however, discover actual freedom, a wink of the spirit guiding them to the most green and expansive vistas. Getting ready for the next phase, let us concentrate on the physical change brought about by the here and now practices, therefore supporting their path to the complete spiritual awakening. The moment has arrived to participate in useful techniques that bring to your life the ancestral energy your soul longs to interact. Imagine two people strolling along paths, running in opposing directions, please. On the one hand, we discover the person who embraces his nature and the spiritual truth blossoming inside of him. He is like Abraham, who in his unquestioning confidence decided to keep the pledge even in front of uncertainty. This selected, adopting this fact, finds tranquility and purpose. His activities are imbued with knowledge. His connections expand like strong roots in rich soil. On the opposite side of the road, someone selected arrives who answers the inner call differently. He selected hesitates, caught in the web of illusory security and superficialities, just as the wealthy young man, approaching Jesus desiring eternity, could not let go from his belongings. Your days are filled with questions and a slow tragedy. Shallow connections harden under a detachment with what is really important. Think about the narrative of the prodigal son, which aptly shows these decisions in action. The firstborn rebel rejects his spiritual legacy, leaves in pursuit of illusory liberties, only to discover himself degraded and lost. Who stays true to their nature goes home with delight and the heart enlarged by experience and knowledge, even in the face of temptations and hardships. Of these avenues, which one reflects your own life? You can find yourself swinging between them and juggling pleasures and difficulties. Still, the destiny of every selected is shaped by either acceptance or rejection of this inner summons. One should understand that the distinction between these routes resides in the response offered to them as much as in the challenges encountered. Approaching the truth results in spiritual development and serenity. Conversely, rejection prolongs cycles of sorrow and emotional and spiritual inertia. Recall that this choice cannot be delegated or ignored. Its unavoidable effects will resound in all spheres of your life. And now, examine this. True freedom is a lamp that shines inside us, but we must have the courage to light it. By digesting your implications, you prepare for the practical contemplation that will follow as we continue together on this spiritual road of discovery and change. The light of truth has already illuminated you to this point, beckoning you to go into transforming practice and surpass theory. Recall that information alone does not turn into wisdom without application. Those who dare to act are those who really open the road toward spiritual enlightenment. Those who hesitate are caught in old ideas of inertia. Use this information right away, as every instant that passes presents a perfect chance for development. Let us first look at spiritual meditation as practice. Find a calm area where you may remain quiet and uninterrupted, free from disturbance first. Feel at ease, maintain your spine straight, and shut your eyes. Breathe deeply and picture this purpose by expanding with every inspiration. Let your thoughts concentrate on a holy word or phrase, a mantra that really speaks to you. This discipline helps the spirit to have mental clarity and peace by aligning its energy, therefore providing a cure for daily irritation. Then start including deliberate thanks into your everyday schedule. When you get up, before any activity, schedule a minute purpose to consider 3 facets of your life for which you are thankful. Show your thanks from the heart so that this feeling permeates everything you are. You generate a positive energy field in your life that draws more riches and increases your vibrational frequency by realizing the benefits right now. At last, the writing practice of spiritual connection specifies some time at the end of the day to note in a journal your feelings and events. This exercise not only helps you drain collected emotional weight, but also changes your journal into a storehouse of development and spiritual learning by letting your hand direct the flow of ideas without evaluating or interrupting. I suggest a challenge for the next 24 hours to demonstrate the efficacy of these techniques. Select a time of your day to get away from the noise of the world and pay attention to your own inner voice. Silence yourself. Recite a particular prayer or use intuition to get insight. See how this habit helps you to be more in line with your own goal and present. Remember, internal opposition is normal when one is exploring other ways. It is the normal mind attempting to bring it back to the comfort of the family member. Know, nevertheless, that the road the selected ones travel is one of first suffering. To really profound and transformational awakening, persistence, even in the face of opposition, is your key. Thus, I wonder, with this information that you now possess, what would you do? This is the moment to react to the supposedly here before you. Your path will rely on the choice you make now. The invitation has been extended, and the response is yours. Now, it is important to realize that knowledge without action is like a candle flame that never reaches the wick. That is, by diving into behaviors, the foundation of spiritual development. When we decide to act, true transformation happens. Here is when everyone selected is asked to use knowledge to watch the planted seeds grow. Those who proceed with purpose really become. Those who hesitate stay caught in the same cycles of uncertainty and suffering. Let us so start with the first approach, the practice of visualizing transformation. Establish a holy place where calm and quiet accompany each other. Close your eyes and see a golden light encircling every cell of your existence, transforming your limiting ideas and worries into bravery and clarity. Emphasize the picture of your most satisfied self and gently and acceptingly notice every aspect. This activity increases not only its own vibration, but also enhances its link with its divine nature, thereby drawing experiences matched with its ultimate good. The second habit to be carried out is supposed prayer. Spend some time clearly expressing your objectives and aspirations in the form of honest and particular prayers when you get up and go to sleep. Speak quietly or openly, confident and grateful, sending your comments to the cosmos. Apart from generating a strong wave of spiritual energy surrounding it, this deed will provide forms to your higher ideas, thereby guiding and focusing your everyday path. At last, the discipline of reflective quiet is really vital. Every day set aside time to just be, free from demands or distractions. Whether in a peaceful setting or in nature, quiet lets you be present with yourself and listen to the innate knowledge often muffled by the noise of daily life. Deep insights will be revealed here, therefore enhancing your trust in your emotional clarity and intuition. I challenge him to participate in an absolute moment of silence in the following 20 to 24 hours, even for 15 minutes, thereby fostering this habit. Let yourself open to the teachings of your inner self and see how it starts to change your view and spiritual energy. Remember that resistance is inevitable when attempting to apply fresh ideas. The mind frequently clings to the comfort of the old. Still, realize that these uncomfortable times are precisely what cause development and deeper enlightenment. Nourished and nurtured, its inner light will lead this resistance and turn it into strength. Recall, this is the acting moment. Respond to the voice of your spirit. What you do with this truth will define your journey from now on. The call was made. You will answer. Advance in the stream of spiritual awareness, knowing that when you follow the most real use of your heart, the world works in your advantage. When we get to this stage in our path, we appreciate the revealed knowledge and the past actions. From the revelation of latent power in revealed truths, awareness of the divine machinery that shapes our progress, and the great relevance of turning knowledge into spiritual practice. Let us reiterate the important issues we highlight today. Every truth shown is one more stride on the road to completeness and light. This is just another turn on his endless ladder of spiritual development. Let yourself, selected, go into a thorough contemplation. It is not sufficient knowledge. One must live this reality with bravery and honesty. The key question of your path is, now that you know the truth, what will you do to her? The decision you make today will determine your spiritual path ahead. It is the ability to choose that it will be the compass in this ceaseless journey. I become motivated to ask you to commemorate this committed moment. Should this message speak to you, leave a note in the comments. I answer my call. Here the purpose is not just digital, but also symbolic, a declaration of the universe's fresh relationship with the divine and a sign of dedication to it. Let our hearts join in prayer to seek direction and safety on this spiritual road. May God guide your path, fortify your spirit, and let you see the realities buried away. Following the road meant for you should help you to discover clarity, strength, and direction. Amen. Remember, the road does not stop here. New revelations and truths await you. There is something even deeper that needs to be revealed that will change everything. In the next video, we will untangle a spiritual mystery many do not yet know, a secret that will further raise their understanding